33-story hotel and condo project.
I'd probably be
Okay,
like
like
that.
stop, tap.
This is a plan by the community for the community.
This one here. Show me.
No problem, Ken. Thanks for having me.
It's Kent Mulgat for Kelowna Now. And we're joined by Travis Whiting, Chief Travis Whiting of the Kelowna Fire Department.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good to have you. So you took over this job in June?
June of last year.
And just wanted to ask you, is there something that you sort of bring to the position? What's your style of leadership for the Kelowna Fire Department?
Well, I think the team of officers that we have really exists really to serve our members and to make sure that we bring to bear the tools that they need and the resources they need to be out on the front lines as they are every day supporting this community. So it really is there to listen to what their needs are and then to find a way to provide those resources back down to the front lines.
Okay, so we're getting into spring now. People are going to start taking out their barbecues, and now there is a possible fire source, but I'd like to go over with you some of the things that people can do around their home to make sure that they aren't the people that are getting the fire department showing up for all the wrong reasons.
Sure. On barbecues, start there. It's pretty simple. Have a good look at it, clean it out, make sure that you've got all the cobwebs out, and if you haven't used it over the season. Always good to do a leak test on your hose lines, a little soap and water, make sure you don't have any gas leaks on those lines.
So you run the soap and water over the lines?
Yeah, turn your tank on, run the soap and water over the lines. If it starts to bubble, then that tells you that there's a leak there or a crack, and you need to replace that hose or have it serviced by a professional.
And then what are some other things in the home? I'm sure you've seen a lot of fires over the years. What are some appliances or sources within a typical home that could end up being a source of a home fire?
Well, obviously the pot on the stove is a classic that we deal with. So stove safety, especially around teaching children around how to be safe around those and how to use fire extinguishers. And there's lots of opportunities, including our open house in the fall where we do fire extinguisher demos to learn how to properly use that. And it's really important actually for kids to be given that instruction. We had an example 2 years ago now in Lake Country where a student actually in the high school out there used a fire extinguisher after having been trained through one of our programs and was able to stop a stove fire out there. So it has a really direct impact if you teach kids the importance of fire safety.
Yeah, come to think of it, I know we have a fire extinguisher under the sink.
Yeah.
But have I picked it up and familiarized myself with exactly in that moment how to make it function? I'm sure it's fairly simple, but it might be a good idea to actually look at it.
That's right. Yeah, it is very simple. It's and I encourage you to have a look and to also to have them checked because they do need maintenance once in a while. So,
but I think of space heaters as being something that from time to time can cause a fire. Are there other sort of?
Yeah, any of those electrical, any heavy loads of electrical, use of extension cords. We just encourage you to be mindful of what you're putting in there and the loads you're putting on from an electrical standpoint. So, and then of course as we move into spring, we're really pushing into the fire smart areas, which is the exterior of the house, which is what we're really trying to focus on over the next few months.
Well, we are in a city that enjoys sort of an interface with forests, right? Yeah. And so now we're talking about how to make sure that your home has less likelihood of getting into a fire if there's a forest fire in the neighborhood.
That's right, yeah, because we, as you know, in this region, we do face that and we see it every season. So one of the programs we really have been working a lot with is Fire Smart Canada and the Fire Smart program. And we're going to start really heavily promoting the Fire Smart activities. And this year, what's new with Kelowna Fire is actually we can come out and do home assessments. So for homes in the interface area, we'll actually come out and provide advice on how you can do a better job of protecting your house and some of the small steps you can take.
So if someone thought, okay, that sounds good, how do you get in line to have that?
Rick Uper, our public education person, is leading the charge on that along with some other staff. So if you just call the fire department non-emergency number and stop in, we'll hook you up and make sure that somebody gets back to you.
What are some things people could do if they're not necessarily going to go that route? What are some simple things people can do to make their house a little safer?
Like if you go online, first off, because there's some great diagrams, really simple steps. It's not complicated. It's things like moving your wood pile away from your house. It's about if you're choosing to put trees and shrubbery and which types of trees and shrubbery are more resistant to fire than others. It's about what type of landscaping materials you use around your house that are more resistant to fire. And it doesn't change necessarily the look or the feel of what you're doing outside, but it certainly can make a difference in our ability to get in and provide protection to your home when we do have those interface fires.
In the in-between time between me reaching out to you for this interview and you coming in here, we had this fatality occur in Kelowna.
Yeah.
And I know the community's kind of rallying around this family, but when you hear what happened there, it's so sad. The woman goes back in to try to save a family pet. Now this is the kind of thing that anybody might be inclined to do. So I guess there's an obvious reminder there to...
Well, it's a tragic event, and certainly impacts the community. And I don't know all the details yet. We're still investigating the incident, but we of course we're going to be there as quickly as we can, and we'll do everything we can to protect those inside the house. And we just obviously want people to, first of all, make a safety plan, get a meeting place, gather yourself, make the call to 911, and let us come in and help and assist. And it's really about being aware and being safe, and really hoping that these type of tragic events don't occur.
But it's tough on your people too, right? Out at a fire scene, it's difficult enough dealing with the dangers and the difficulties of putting out a fire. But then when there's loss of life, it's something that your members, I'm sure,
Our members feel it for sure. I mean, the people we have on the front lines in all branches, we're there because we serve the public and because we want to have a positive impact and try to create a positive outcome whenever we're at an incident. So we take it to heart, and my members over the course of a shift or of our block will interact with the public during some of their more difficult days, and yeah, it's something that resides
Right.
with them for sure.
I've seen this set of circumstances sometimes at a traumatic car accident where there's someone whose life is teetering, maybe lost, and it's your members that have to be in there trying to extract people from a vehicle, and perhaps they're dying right in front of your...
Well, I mean, the one of the things with our job is that every day is different, and you will
Yeah.
see these different types of incidents, whether it's a motor vehicle or a medical or a fire.
And then and it's back to the hall, and there could be another call. Are there services or is there support for your people to try to process all of the things?
It's a big part of where we're driving right now, and it's a key focus of our leadership team, and working with our members, and the IFF has done some amazing work on peer support program. So between the union, the management team, the Provincial Association of Chiefs, we're really putting a lot of tools in to provide support to our membership. We have a focused task force working on it right now to ensure that everything from mitigation and prevention to response to recovery for our members, because it is different than it used to be. Mm-hmm. We don't bury what happened, we talk about what happened. And all the first responders, police, ambulance, and fire are really recognizing the long-term impacts on our members, and we're trying to be as proactive as possible to provide a way to provide a safe work environment for them.
And do you see the benefits of that, of dealing with things? I guess the old school way would be to just tough.
Yeah, I guess on the one side, you didn't used to see it because we used to bury it, and we're seeing it more because we are open about it, and people are well supported when we start to see it. So I think we do see it more because we understand and recognize what it is, and I think that's a positive thing for sure.
Right. So again, I think that people should be made aware of Fire Smart. So if you could just remind people, if they want to make their home safer, where do they find the information they need to move that forward?
Give us a call at the fire hall on our non-emergency number. Ask for either Rick Uper or any of the prevention or education branch, and they'll come out. Or you can go online, Fire Smart Canada. If you just Google that, there's a ton of resources there if you wanted to do it yourself. But as we move into fire season and you're out doing your yard work and starting to get that spring cleaning going, it's a really good reminder to try and get at that.
Terrific. Chief Whiting, thanks so much for coming in.
Not a
really
problem.
appreciate it.
Cheers.
And you're watching Kelowna Now.